guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be kind of like a review-ish type video, more of like my thoughts while I was reading this book. I just finished recently Lessons in Chemistry. These are kind of like my thoughts while I was reading that book. I read this book on Audible, so my version might be a little different than yours if you read the physical book, just because I had that kind of like under like inflection type thing of someone reading it to me. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy and let's get into it. Spoiler warning for anyone who has not read Lessons in Chemistry. But yeah, so my thoughts are kind of written down. I wrote them down like when I was about halfway through and then just as it went on type thing. So the first half of my thoughts are like kind of out of order and then, you know, more sequential type thing. For anyone who has not read Lessons in Chemistry, it's about this chemist. Her name is Elizabeth Zott. She is a chemist. She studies abiogenesis, and that is basically the study of like evolution from a living organism up until how we are now, from what I understand. So she ends up dating this other chemist who is like very famous. He's very well known. He's written tons and tons of different articles, papers and stuff. Yeah, so he ends up getting shot because of a like leash rule, I believe. So then he's gone, and it's like this whole big like turnaround for Dr. Zott, where she ends up finding out that she's pregnant, and then she gets fired from the lab that she was working at. And while she's raising her daughter, she ends up getting a hosting, like TV show hosting role, where she like kind of takes like her knowledge of chemistry and applies it to a cooking show, which I thought was really cool. So starting off with the book kind of switches off between the Elizabeth Zott's point of view and the dog's point of view. For some parts of the book, which I thought was kind of interesting, you can like really understand like the dog and how he like came into the family, and he's actually like a really smart. He ends up, I think by the end of it, he knows about like over 800, maybe 1,000 words, and he helped Elizabeth Zott, he helped her like build her in-home lab, which was like really cool to see like how far training a dog can go. And then I like how like the beginning starts with, it tells you where she's gonna end up, and it like as the book goes on, you can see like how she got there, and I thought that was really interesting. Also, the way that like the other chemist died, that was really weird to me. He died because there was a new like leash rule that was implemented in their city, that like the dogs had to be on a leash no matter what, and basically the dog was trying to go in a different direction than the human, and there was just like a crossfire type thing going on there. So this book is taking place in the 1960s, and the way that she is kind of like treated as a woman in science is kind of like not great. But it is what it is. But it is a book that like kind of portrays that really well, I believe. My next one, I literally wrote down, she lost her job because she got preggers. Freaking rude. But yeah, so that's basically how she got fired from her lab, was because she got pregnant, and the lab thought that she couldn't perform her job duties as required of her because she was pregnant. When she finally did get on the show, when she finally got her hosting job, I liked how she kind of stuck her ground with what she wanted to have on the show. Like, she wanted to be more real than, you know, fake. So she was kind of like she would take questions from the audience and like say, yeah, you are in the right to want to go back to school and that type of stuff. I just thought that was really interesting to see. After the producer of the show, he got fired, and then she basically took over, and I liked how she was able to do that. She was able to have her own input, and there was no way for her to like be told no, basically. Like, she was running the show basically at that point. She has a very interesting take on parenting. She kind of told her daughter like what's what, and I kind of like that she wasn't like hiding anything, and she kind of just told her like, hey, this is this, and she like would teach her like the big science words and stuff, because you know they're babies and they absorb more than when you're an adult. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I'm going back to how the dog switches back and forth between the point of view. He also keeps track of how many words that he knows. So when I wrote this thought down, he was up to 800. But yeah, I just thought that was really cool that the dog was keeping track of how many words that he knew. This next one is probably because I was listening to it instead of reading it physically. So at some point when she is on her show, it kind of switches from her talking on the show to someone else like in California who is watching it, like point of view type thing. So without knowing that that was happening, it was kind of like hard to follow. But I think that was just because I was listening to it on Audible instead of reading it physically. By the end, she does end up getting back into chemistry, and she does end up getting to pursue her studying her abiogenesis again. So I really liked how it kind of made like a full circle there. Brings us to the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have read this and what your thoughts were. Yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!